Hello, this video is going to go through some of the features of Simpli List View. Once Simpli List View has been installed and the application has been clicked on, the first page that will be opened up is the List Views start page. What you want to make sure is that the list views have been initialized, and this is discussed in other videos. Once the list views have been initialized, the best way to go and view all of the features that Simpli List Views has available is to go to the List Views example 1. This, because list views you're able to set different kinds of features, it is important that you understand all the features that are available because as you create pages, some of those features can be added and removed. This page has all the features. The first thing you'll notice when coming into the page is that the different objects and list view objects are displayed for you. This particular list can be altered in many different ways through configuration. Objects can be removed from this list if they are not used, and also the list can be made specifically for certain objects. For example, if we only ever use accounts, contacts, and opportunities, we could have a list which only had those 3 objects. If we select the account, another drop-down list appears which shows us all of those list views. If we select one of these list views, the data is displayed to us. A number of things to notice here. This first button to the right of the list views drop-down is a button which will take us to the original Salesforce list view. If we click on it, the original list view will open up. This is handy if we're interested in making changes to the list view, as directly changes cannot be made to the list views at the moment through Simpli List Views. You have to come to the list view itself, the Salesforce standard list view, make the changes, and then refresh in Simpli List Views. The next button is for pinning. You can pin this list view, and it works in a very similar fashion to Salesforce, standard Salesforce. We then have the number of rows that have been returned and the number of rows that have been selected. If we were to, you will also notice that these are URLs. If I was to select this URL, all the data that is displayed in this list view currently will be available for download. So if I click OK, the download will be opened as a CSV and all of the information will be available. Can be selected individually and the URL used just for those individually selected results. Working your way further along, there is an Actions drop-down. Actions typically are developed and implemented by developers. There are 2 that are currently available. One is for deleting and one is for updating individual records. There are 3 records here that have been selected. If I wanted to update those records, I could click Update, and a page is made available to me to update certain fields. These fields are configurable, meaning that the individual fields can be changed based on specific user needs. Moving further along, there is a button here. Once you've selected individual list views, there is the ability to refresh the list view. So for example, once we've made a change to our accounts, this one is the all accounts. If we were to make a change and remove the phone field, for instance, once that has been saved, we can then go across to our Simpli List View, click the refresh button, and the phone disappears. This allows us to more quickly alter the standard list views and then have that data reflected in Simpli List Views. The next button is the auto refresh button. If it was the case that data changed fairly quickly, this might be useful for logging, for instance, the list view can be set to auto refresh. Once clicking auto refresh, you'll see that the little O appears saying that it's going around in circles. And the refresh occurs based on a configured amount of time. The set time on average is 30 seconds. That is the default. Lastly, on the right-hand side, we have the administrative fields which can be set for this particular list view. If we click on it, we can see all the extras that are available to us. Additional fields, for example, these can be set going into the hierarchy based on lookup fields. So for example, for accounts, we could look at the owner's profile's name. We could also set the refresh rate and the return size. One other ability that we have is a total footer at the bottom of the list view. This can be set so that individual columns have their values totaled and displayed at the bottom. We can also set the total row color. Another useful feature of Simpli list views is that we can have conditional highlighting. For example, we can decide that for an account name that contains Burlington, we want to set the color of those records to a bright red. We add that conditional highlighting. And once the conditional highlighting has been added and we close, those particular records appear highlighted. One thing you'll also notice is that we've set the additional field to be the owner's profile's name. You'll notice here that we now have a new field with the owner's profile's name on it. Since this is the name field, it is a lookup to that object, which means we are able to click on it and go to that particular record. These are many of the features that Simpli List Views has available. As more features are added, more videos will be made available. And as those features are improved, these videos will be updated. Thank you.